Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. I'm Kalikaiz. Today I'm going to be playing High Tide in Blue-White Familiars. I've been playing a lot of Familiars lately and it just lacks a little bit of oomph. And since High Tide is still legal for who knows how much longer, we're going to try it out. I've noticed that in testing, I've really wanted to flicker Cryogen Relic. I've wanted to flicker Mulldrifter. I've been playing this Cryogen with Flicker and Archaeomancer build, but Murmuring Mystic has been both good and kind of medium. I found I do want some number of modern ages because a 2/3 flyer is good and I like the looting. So I figured why not replace a couple of things. So I'm taking my two, basically one modern age and two murmuring mystics plus a single counterspell and turning them all into high tides. Just trying to go off faster than my opponent. In the sideboard I have 5 counterspells to be bringing in over like the Faithfuls, maybe some other stuff. We have 4 Dust to Dust because we want to stick it to affinity. We have Last Breath, Revoke Existence, and some Hydroblast for burn. So let's see if a more combo heavy build of Familiars is going to be the right choice. And I will see you in the matches. Thanks for watching. Did you know you could get sideboard guides on patreon.com/Kalikaiz? And did I mention you can get early access to videos on the YouTube page in the membership section? And if you like these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. We're here in round 1 on the raw. We have pretty good hand. Our opponent's on Forest into Bogles. Okay, Bogles, so question is, can we turn 3 or turn 4 them? I'll play Island Pass. Turn 2, we have a Familiar. Turn 3, we can go High Tide, Evoke Mulldrifter, Flicker. So I guess if they turn 4 me, I'm kind of gonna die, or turn 3 me. But this is 2 power coming in on turn 2 with a card I've never seen before. Talons of Wildwood. Creature gets +1/+1 and trample, and you can return it from a graveyard to your hand. Nice, I'll play a Familiar. They have Abundant Growth. So now they have an any color land, and they draw a card off the Abundant Growth. They choose not to attack. We have multiple flickers, so we're in a great spot. I can play the Sunscape Familiar. That's the turn. Now I can do what? I can go High Tide, 2 mana, Drifter, Flicker, Drifter. Still have 2 mana. I'll have drawn 4 cards. Then I can go Drifter, Flicker, Drifter again. And I can draw a ton of cards, or basically, all right, they went Ancestral Mask. They have a 6/6 trample. They had cycled in Ash Barrens for a forest on my end step while I was thinking about what to draw. So we have quite a few islands now. Let's go High Tide. This is absurd. It's always very fun. Evoke a Mulldrifter. I'm ready. Combo time. Draw 2 cards. Let's Flicker. This gives me my mana back. Okay. And then I can Cryogen Relic. Opponent says, let me know if you win. I'll draw a card. And I think if I preordain into an Archaeomancer, we have the win. Preordain. So let's bottom. Let's evoke a Mulldrifter. We can draw 2 cards. Snap the Mulldrifter was very good. It gives me extra mana. Now I'll evoke the Mulldrifter again. Draw some cards. Now I can snap the snap this Mulldrifter again. Then I drew a card. Alright, now I have 6 mana. Might as well play the Faithful. I do want to gain life if I can. I will evoke the Mulldrifter again for 1 mana, drawing 2 cards. Would be great to draw into another High Tide, but we drew the Archaeomancer, so we can Flicker, Drifter, or we actually don't have to Flicker them, but it's better to have the creatures in play, right? Now we have infinite mana. Flicker, Drifter, Relic. Draw 4 cards. Then we play Archaeomancer and get Flicker. We'll untap all of our lands. Cool. Our opponent scoops. That was very kind. The one thing we have to worry about is them potentially having a life gain spell. Then we would have to like draw into our counter spells and try to like gain a bunch of life and then counterspell them out, but they didn't make me do it. So I want the Revoke Existence, and then clearly we'd want to just go fast. Maybe I cut the Modern Age. I think I'd rather have Negate than Foil. Let's submit. I was pretty lucky there. I mean, that was an insane opener. Game 2, we don't have quite as good of an opener, but we do have some solid cards. I can preordain to set up. Probably going to have to play the Chancery. Our opponent leads on a Glade Cover Scout. So that's a fast and scary start so far. I will preordain. So I think I bottom both of these cards. We did find a Snap. I think I need to play the Cryogen. Not sure. They have a 5/1 coming in. So I'm going to be dead soon. I'll just play the Cryogen Relic. I have to draw High Tide quickly. Did not draw High Tide. I guess I should have mulliganed to Cost Reducer or something. We can't use the Cryogen on their creature. They have an Ancestral, so we scoop. I think maybe this, so let's go back and bring back in the foils. Don't know why I was thinking I would not want those. And we have the revoke already. Maybe one negate is fine. I'll cut a couple of faithfuls. Feels like we're just gonna die if we get killed. We're not gonna like be able to outlife gain it right away on the play. So we have tide, we're going to keep, this is tentative. I have a negate on turn 3. I'll pass a turn. My tide is pretty medium with Glistener Elf. Okay, played Chancery. Maybe they thought I was going to remove all my snaps. It'd be great if they went all in on that, I guess, and I got to snap it. They play a Forest. They get in for 1. Another Glistener Elf. Commune with Spirits. Finds a Forest. I have an island. Will I die here? They revealed a Forest. I'm just going to play the Cryogen Relic. Maybe I die. We find a Revoke Existence. I can High Tide into Snap Snap. Ethereal Armor. That's 2. 3. I guess I'm Commune with Spirits. This is scary. They reveal Utopia Sprawl. He's a Sprawl. I wonder if I should wait for them going in harder. This is very nerve-wracking. I can snap both of these things. I just don't know if it's necessary. They made a blue on the Utopia Sprawl. I guess I start out on the Modern Age. I think I'm going to discard this Revoke Existence. Bounce your creature. Bounce another creature. Or we can just Relic it. I'm gonna Relic it. Stun the creature. We draw another island. Trying to find an Archaeomancer. They play a Glistener Elf out. They play a Utopia Sprawl. They have 2 cards in hand. Using red. They're just making me sweat here. We draw. Discard a Floodplain. Play island. We have double tide. I think I need to try to go until my next turn. Let's make them make a mistake, I guess. I don't know if waiting is a mistake. We have a couple of turns from just 2, in fact. They get in for 2. I go to 7. My turn. Ghostly Flicker. Still a little nervous. I'm gonna wait. They have a Rancor. I guess that would kill me. We'll try snapping it so that they can't have the Rancor. Untap. Rancor will go to the graveyard. There's a Glistener Elf back out. They don't attack. Okay. I have an island. We'll try Preordain. Put in bottom. Top the Relic. Pass the turn. I'm very, very, very nervous here. Commune with Spirits. So look at the top 4, reveal an enchantment or land. Reveals Forest again. It's not going great for them. They don't attack. We'll play out a Cryogen Relic. We found a Chancery. I have to pass. I can't afford to play the Chancery because I need the negate, I think. Plays an Ethereal Armor. It's a 4/4. They're going to get in. I'm going to attempt a snap on the 4/4. And I have the negate or a Dispel or something. I will negate the ram through. Dang, we win the game. Scary. Alright, well, I'll see you in match 2. Okay, round 2. So what we're missing here is a High Tide. I think I can keep. Opponent on probably mono red. Okay, so mono red madness means is the deck, because they haven't played a turn 1 thing. They're probably going to turn 2 something. Oh, they bolt me end step. Plays a mountain. Skittering Kitten. We're back to kittens. I like it. Gets in. We're going to play another Cryogen Relic. And then Chancery, I believe. Picking up the island. Now we could foil pitching the Modern Age here if they play like a Gutter Snipe. They grab the prize, pitching a Fiery Temper. I'll let them cast the Fiery Temper. I'm going to counter spell. So they missed out on a draw 2. I wonder if I should tap down this cat. I don't think so. I'm going to play the Familiar. Land. Plays another kitten. Okay. I'm a little bit nervous. High Tide would be a really good draw. I'll block. I go to 11. They plot Highway Robbery. I'm going to tap a creature, draw a card. We draw. Let's play out the Modern Age. I'll discard this Ash Barrens. We'll play god-pharoah's Faithful. We will attempt to snap Skittering Kitten. It's okay if they just sacrifice. If they don't, then I get to Archaeomancer back to snap. It was basically just a removal spell. Okay, they discard. I go to 12. Meyer, pass the turn. Casting Flame Breather. Interesting. Casting the Highway Robbery. You have something good in hand. Am I dead? I hate the am I dead question. Discards a mountain. Plays an Epicure. I go to 10. I can make another discard. We find another snap. Draw. I'll discard. I guess I'll discard the snap. Play out the Archaeomancer. Get the snap. Then we will bounce the Kessig. I really want to make them spend their mana so they don't spend their mana killing me. Let's play a Preordain. Great draw here would be a Ghostly Flicker. We find the Ghostly Flicker. I'm going to bottom, top, and then float the white mana, flicker the Archaeomancer and the Cryogen Relic. We will get back the flicker. Alright. Should have, well, it didn't matter. So pass the turn. I was going to say we should have floated blue, but there was no blue to float. They replay the Flame Breather. 2 cards in hand. I'm at 14. I don't think they can win this turn, but they can draw a bunch of cards. We flip the Modern Age into a Vector Glider. I'm going to go ahead and play a Cryogen Relic again. Draw a card. Another flicker. Well, let's go ahead and snap the Kessig again and untap. And then flicker the Relic. Let's see if we can draw into a Familiar, because that would be infinite life. No Familiar. They scoop anyway. I love it. Woohoo! Okay, so that was nice. We didn't draw any High Tides, and we won. So let's cut all of our High Tides. Bring in all of our Hydroblasts. And then a Last Breath for their Pingers and a Prohibit. We could even bring in another Prohibit and then just try to get to the end game where, like, do I need to flicker the Archaeomancers over and over? It's kind of a slow card. I will cut 1 Archaeomancer. We've opened an unkeepable hand. We mulligan another no lander. This is the best hand we've seen, so we'll keep and put back Archaeomancer, and we could put back the Plains or the Cryogen Relic. So, or we could put I'm going to put back the Chancery. I was maybe a little bit blindsided by the Chancery, but here we can go land into draw card into draw card, and maybe find some Hydroblasts and things like that. Sometimes your opponent will just Hydroblast your turn 1 Preordain, so let's see if that happens here. We aggressively turn 1 Preordain. I didn't think about it whatsoever. No fear. Pyroblast the turn 1 Preordain. Let's see if they have a turn 2. Hopefully they don't, and I can hold up the Prohibit. They grab the prize, discarding a Lava Dart. Best draw would have been a land, but since we didn't find a land, I'm going to play the Cryogen Relic, trying to draw a card into a land. But if I don't, on a Preordain, given that they Pyroblasted before, they probably have more Pyroblasts in hand. Kessig Flame Breather into a Lightning Bolt face. We are just going to play the Cryogen Relic into a Chancery, pick up the Plains. Could be dead here. One thing I can do is potentially flicker the Relics looking for a Hydroblast. They get in for 1. I go to 13. 3 cards in hand is scary, because they have Lava Dart. I'm effectively at 11. They hard cast a Fiery Temper. That puts me to 9. We're going to tap down your creature. Bound to Faithful. Let's go Faithful. Preordain. Mancer. I'm going to bottom both of these. Looking for Hydroblast. Find a Flicker. They play a Mountain. 2 cards in hand. Searing Blaze plus Lava Dart can kill my creature. And then if they have Fire Blast, I'm dead. No, yeah, Lava Dart face would kill me if they have Fire Blast. Fiery Temper is 4, 5, 6. I had nothing I could do, I guess. Just no Hydroblast in hand. What if I get rid of... That was just so sad. So sad. Too bad, so sad. We'll try again. Maybe the Prohibits should just be High Tides. Maybe the Modern Ages can come out. Bring back in the High Tides. Then put back in the Archaeomancer. Maybe I can just punk them. Or like High Tide into doing something. Because if I'd had the Modern Age... If I'd had a High Tide over the Prohibit, I could have like High Tided and flickered and drawn a bunch of cards and maybe found the Hydroblast. We have a High Tide. We're going to keep and pray. Keep and pray, baby! Can High Tide Snap, High Tide. That's 6 infinites. We're pretty close. I'll lean on an island and pass a turn. I think I want to wait to fetch until my turn, because I might draw a land that would change the way that I fetch. I drew a Hydroblast, so I will grab an island. I was planning on grabbing an island, but I might have wanted a Plains if I drew exactly Faithful. They go Mountain. We find a Faithful. They grab the prize. Discarding a card. We have the Hydroblast. So I think I have infinite if I have another land. We have 3 High Tides. I'm so close. Pass the turn. We're staring at each other here. Chancery. I'll pick up the island. We're going to discard. It gets the Faithful, unfortunately. And then I have to hope that they tap out. Plays a 3rd land. Plays Gutter Snipe. Oh boy. We'll go High Tide into Sunscape Familiar, into Snap your Gutter Snipe, untap, into High Tide, into High Tide, into Archaeomancer. get the snap. Snap the Archaeomancer on tap all my lands. Make some mana. It's up to you, Mulldrifter. Play out a Mulldrifter. We draw the flicker. GG. Grab the snap. Flicker. Show them the lethal. Okay, and then I can even Archaeomancer. Grab a High Tide. Cast a High Tide. Oops, we'll just snap this Mancer. Whee! Play Archaeomancer. Okay, 2-0 on to round 3. Round 3, pretty good hand with a High Tide. We have a Cryogen Relic on 2. Our opponent's on Mountain. Madness Burn rematch. I'll play a Floodplain. So we're looking at maybe trying to go for it on turn 4, but that might be too slow. They plot a Highway Robbery. So I suppose the best thing to do is Faithful into Preordain. Gain some life. Bottom the Modern Age. We'll top the Archaeomancer. Because, let's see, High Tide. High Tide. I'm almost there. They Faithful Suiting, grab the prize. Plays an Epicure. I'm going to cycle. Grab Island. Play the Cryogen Relic. We have a foil. I have to think it through. They play a Kessig. They're getting in. So if I block, let's see. I have High Tide, 4 mana. High Tide, 5 mana. And then they make 3. So I would need another land. So I'm just not going to block here, I suppose. They plot a Highway Robbery, 2 cards in hand. Let's play the Chancery. Pick up the Island. And now I actually can pitch the Mulldrifter I need, if I need to. I'm in such a weird spot right now. They get in. I think I'm going to make them waste their cards on my Faithful. I go to 17. They play the Robbery. Sacrifice a land. Play a Gutter Snipe. Okay. Each spell is 3 damage. They cast another Robbery. Okay, that's bad. I go to 13. Lava Dart. Oh god. They're counting. They go Bolt on the Faithful. 3, 4, 5. Why didn't they Bolt face? This is only going to save me 1 damage. Okay. I'm probably dead. They pass the turn. Not dead. Not quite dead yet. Okay. We'll play High Tide. Then we'll play High Tide. Do I have it? Land. Mancer. Hit High Tide. Pass High Tide. 4 mana. So if I can Preordain into an island, I have the win. Preordain. Let's bottom. Alright, well, let's just see if I have it. Flicker? Damn. Okay. That wasn't very fun, but you know what? It happens. Let's bring in Last Breath, Hydroblast, cut on the Modern Age, and the foils. All we needed was an island. Like 10,000 spoons. We have a maybe good hand. This is so tentative. We're going to keep and hope that we draw some lands, but the Preordain maybe will get us there. If I don't draw lands, then I die. What am I supposed to, you know? I'm just going to try to take this hand that has a ton of power. Preordain. Nope. We've drew a High Tide. Can I draw a land? Put it on Relic of Progenitus. Did not draw a land. Bummer. Flame Breather. No lands. I'll move on with my life. See you in round 4. Round 4. We have some stuff to do. I don't know what we're going to do, but you know, this hand has a lot of possibility. Our opponent leads on a forest into a land or Elves. So High Tide is good in this matchup because, okay, let's Preordain to start. High Tide allows me to try and race them. Definitely do not want more lands. We drew a Mulldrifter. So best draw would be Familiar or a Snap. More High Tides, Ghostly Flickers. Looks like maybe they're on walls. They Roost Seeked into a forest. They play a Finehorn Elves, so they're just some sort of walls or elves thing. Found a Familiar. I'll play the Familiar. I wonder if it makes sense to just go for the Mulldrifter. Timberwatch Elf. If I evoke the Mulldrifter here, I could play Chancery. They Whining Way. They find Masked Vandal, Finehorn, and a Priest. So lots of creatures on the next turn. We have a Mulldrifter and a Mulldrifter in hand. So let's just evoke this Mulldrifter. Draw some cards. We drew a Snap. Play the Chancery. Pick up the island. I mean the plains. Definitely don't want to pick up the island. I'll get rid of the plains. We don't need that. Next turn I can cycle Ash Barrens for an island. Snap the Timberwatch Elf. Play the Mulldrifter. These Chanceries are looking pretty medium. They play a Llanowar Elves and a Finehorn Elves and a Priest. Bashes in for 8. They're going to Timberwatch. I'm not blocking. They're going to Timberwatch their creature. So they have Masked Vandal, 1 unknown. We drew an island already. So I could high tide first. I think I'm just going to snap the Timberwatch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play the Mulldrifter. I'm leaving up white in case I draw a familiar. Next turn I have high tide, draw 3. Well, high tide into cycle for an island, 6 mana, draw 3, 3 mana left over. And then hope I draw into an Archaeomancer. Even a flicker would be okay. I'm a little bit worried about a really big Hydra here. They have 3, 4, 5, 6. Mass Vandal is -1 mana on the Priest because it's an elf. They play the Timberwatch out. It makes 7 mana. This is 10 total mana. And then they play the Hydra. So they're going to attack for 9. Alright, I was pretty sure they had the Hydra there. We'll go to 3. And we have a Faithful. It's not going to save me unless I go infinite. I will start with the High Tide. I could actually probably, if I High Tide and then I can just cast the Lorien Revealed. So if I High Tide now, my cycle I have 6 mana. If I High Tide and then just cast it, I have 2. If I draw an island, I'll have 4 mana. If I don't draw an island, I can cycle for an island here. Then I'll have 3 mana left over, so I'll have the same amount. So let's High Tide first. And then draw 3. Play a land. We're going to High Tide. Snap the Mulldrifter. And then invoke it. We found the Flicker. Easy game! Let's go! Flicker the Drifter. Combo time. My opponent never saw it coming. Let's Mancer. Grab the Flicker. They're so dead. Unfortunately for them. Mancer. Grab a Snap. Then I'll snap your board. Pew! So the only thing to note here is that the Hydra and the Llanowar Elves both have to be snapped. So we'll bounce it, untap, and then bounce that one, untapping, and start drawing cards. I have 22 floating mana after all that. Play a Modern Age. Can just discard a random land. We'll flicker again. Looking to draw into my foils so that I can hold up counterspells. We have a High Tide. We're gonna flicker. Maybe it makes sense to cycle the land. Get another land out of the deck. Cycling away. Play a Cryogen Relic. Another Mulldrifter. And a Cryogen Relic. We found a foil. I don't really have to do any more card draw, but I'm going to draw my other 2 creatures that I can cast this turn, if possible. Play a Familiar. We can't draw the entire deck because we would deck out. We have to find the Mortuary Mire first. Play Archaeomancer. We'll grab the High Tide. Or later turns. Draw some more cards. I guess I could get back the Preordains. That's probably a better idea. Play another Modern Age. I'll discard a land. I'll flicker. I'm running out of mana a little bit. Get the Preordain. Bounce the Faithful. Now I don't really care about my life total. Preordain. So there's the other foil and the Mortuary Mire. Now I can pass. Discard, 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 discard. And all of the Faithfuls, all the non-land stuff, and even some of the lands. We end up with a 7-card hand. Quite the combo. They play a Priest of Titania. We're going to counterspell. And they concede. Alright. So I'm going to bring in the Last Breath, cut the god-pharoah's Faithfuls, and then I will bring in, I guess, 1 Prohibit and 2 Negates. Prohibit can counter the creatures. I think actually maybe it might just be 3 Negates, and then cut the Prohibit. Although the Modern Age is something that we don't really need if we actually have a good enough hand to flicker these things to go off. Maybe it's good on the setup. I just don't know how many cards I need to bring in. I don't think I'm going to play the Prohibit. It's probably bad on the draw. I already submitted a 60-card deck. Okay, I don't know what I brought in. Okay, we have another hand where if I draw a land, I'm just in the money. But I'm going to learn from my past mistakes. I'm going to not keep this hand. Mulligan. This is a bit money. We will get rid of the Modern Age. Having a Snap is great. If I can find a Faithful, it'll be even, or Familiar, it'll be even better. I will Preordain. Cryo and Flicker. Let's top both. I'll be greedy. So this current turn, I can play the Cryogen Relic. They play a Timberwatch Elf. Play the Cryogen Relic. You're on Mortuary Mire. Worst case scenario is they have, well, I guess Relic is not amazing. I'm surprised to see Relic. They Relic away a Plains. They can attack with the Finehorn and deal me 3 damage with the Timberwatch Elf. I can Cryogen it, so they can't use it on the next turn. Find a Plains. Play another Cryogen Relic. Play land. Let's cycle for an island. So what's my plan here? They're going to Relic away my Ash Barrens. I think I might have to foil. I'm going to counterspell your Timberwatch Elf, fetching the Mortuary Mire. So I don't think that actually recurring my creatures is going to be the way to win. Maybe. They Relic away a land. Makes their creature a 3/3. It gets in for 3. We find island. So I can cycle the island, grabbing an island, bounce the Timberwatch, and then draw 3 cards. Or 4 cards. Draw 4 cards off the Cryogen Relics. We drew High Tide, another Snap. Our opponent has an Avenging Hunter, it looks like, or they might just cast a 4/5 Nyxborn. They play a Timberwatch. They're afraid of not leaving up the Relic. It's in. We go to 13. Declines to Relic. I'm going to play the Chancery, pick up the Plains, bounce the Timberwatch, untap, and draw another 3 cards, or 4 cards. Going back to 7 cards in hand. We've wasted 2 flickers and 2 snaps, which isn't great. There's a Familiar and a High Tide and a Snap, so Familiar. So if I draw my Archaeomancer, I have Infinite now. If they tap out for an Avenging Hunter and I draw the Archaeomancer, it'd be even better. Mulldrifter's still good because I can High Tide into Drifter, Snap, Drifter. They're passing? No. Cycle's a generous Ent. They can Mass Vandal the Relic, and that draws me a card. They play the Timberwatch Elf again. I really don't know what's in their hand. We find a Last Breath. That's awesome. A Last Breath the Timberwatch Elf. We've been fighting over this Timberwatch Elf for quite a while. And then I can just play out the tap land. Work on developing my islands. They Relic. Now if they had 5 mana previously, maybe they just jam the Avenging Hunter. They play out a Soggy Wildling. And that's a bit of a surprise. Oh, I can snap the Finehorn, and then that gives... No, they can float the mana. Need a Drifter. Or an Archaeomancer. They tap the mana. They play a Aquarian Ranger. They untap. Plays the land. Holding up the Relic. We drew the Archaeomancer, so... I wonder what I want to do. Well, I guess I just Mancer. Try to get back to Ghostly Flicker. If they crack the Relic on the stack, I can snap the Sogyu. They didn't. So we'll attempt to get back Ghostly Flicker. They crack the Relic. Makes sense to me. I'll play out my island. So I can currently make infinite mana and then draw 2 cards, which is not enough cards. Plays another Timberwatch. 3 mana. Lead the Stampede. We only have the 1 flicker left on the deck. And the Mortuary Mire is gone. Ugh. They untap. Gonna just Cryogen Relic it. Maybe I made some mistakes. Cannot untap. Right now, if we draw the flicker, we just have infinite snaps, and we can keep attacking with our 1/2s. They play another Llanowar. They can attack for 3. 1 draw spell, 1 time. So let's Cryogen Relic on the Sogyu. Okay, we drew a Drifter. We're going in. High Tide. High Tide. Snap. We're doing something. We are doing something. I'm going to make a lot of mana. Play a Mulldrifter. So we can replay the Mulldrifter 2 more times. Preordain, okay. Archaeomancer Modern Age. I mean, we can top both of these. Tap Modern Age. We will discard the Plains. Play Archaeomancer. So if I get the Preordain, I'm going to snap. Snap Mancer. And then we'll just go ahead and snap the Drifter. Boing. Come on, Drifter. Draw me the good cards. Here we go. Big fish coming in. We draw another fish. Let's play another one. Mulldrifter. We cannot draw too many cards. We have a Modern Age. I'll discard Ash Barrens. Play a Cryogen Relic. I have to worry about not having enough mana. We draw Familiar. Okay, that makes things easier. Play the Familiar. Make a ton of mana. Get back the Snap. Untap all the things again. Let's just play out the last land. Okay, now I'm going to go for the Preordain. I need to maximize the cards remaining in my library, and I'm trying to find the Ghostly Flicker. So that would have just drawn us 2 blanks. We have another High Tide. Let's Archaeomancer. Grab the Preordain. Preordain. Foil and negate. Have to bottom. Bottom, bottom. Your Preordain. Another Snap. Oh, bottom. Top the Snap. Make a bunch of mana. Mancer. Grab the Preordain. Here we go. Preordain. Well, I will bottom, and I guess top the Modern Age is about the same as bottoming it. Top. Modern Age. Discard the Plains. We can Cryogen Relic again on the Sogyu. We draw a Prohibit. We fizzled. Let's see if they can kill me. Next turn I will draw an additional 3 cards. So I think that keeping the Modern Age there was good. I think what would kill me would be a Nyxborn Hydra. They play Aquarian Ranger. So they have Nyxborn. I think I'm going to prohibit that. They make their Aquarian Ranger at 3/3. They can give it +8. 7/7. Okay. So it'll be an 11/11. There's another Timberwatch. Now it's going to be a 12/12. So I have to block with my 2 Mulldrifters, I guess. Or block with a Mulldrifter, block with an Archaeomancer, go to 2. I need 2 Archaeomancers if I'm going to do any looping. I'm at 2 life. We're going to draw a bunch of cards. Draw. Discard Chancery. We draw, we discard Island. We discard Familiar. We'll go High Tide, into Preordain. I have 4 power on the table. I'm a little bit worried about not having enough power, or not enough lands, not enough cards in the deck. We'll bottom pop, play a Mulldrifter. There's the flicker. So now we just, I guess we flicker and bounce their board. And then get back all of our counters. Back flicker, get back, snap. Back in combo time. At least I can attack for 2 this turn. First I'll get rid of the Quirion. Snap the Hydra. So I currently have 8 cards left in deck. And that means I just need to, I don't know, like, if I add a Mulldrifter to the table, I'll go to 6 cards left in deck, then I'll have 5 turns to attack. And I'll have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 power. Should be enough. Bounce. I do need to draw the foil, but maybe I should use the Preordain to try to find the foil. Mostly because of the Sagyu. Although that's not untapping this turn, so I don't need to find the foil right away. I'm gonna have so much power though after all of the Modern Ages flip. We're gonna get back Prohibit. We'll get back basically all the counter spells. Make sure I put a High Tide back in my hand so I can go off at instant speed. Untap all my lands. 4 turns. I'll grab the Preordain. We will Preordain. Another negate. I'm going to bottom. There's the foil. Okay. Now I can snap that thing. Bonk. Okay. Send in the team. Bonk. Talk about combo control. We will discard Familiar. I'll have 4 turns of attacking. They're going to Roost Seek. Start by High Tiding. And I'll negate. And I will return the negate. Then cast a Llanowar Elves. I'll flicker. Return negate flicker. Counter. When it's going to cycle a Genercent in response. Okay. That is a thing you're allowed to do. Plays a land. Cast a Hydra. Counterspell. And then I'll get back my counterspells. It's going to be a long battle here. Get back Prohibit and Flicker. Return Foil Flicker. And return High Tide. If I had not discarded the Mortuary Mire early in the game, then this would be a lot different. Like, I would have no problems. Here, as it is, I'm a little bit nervous. Like, if they had a Weather Storm, it would be brutal. I would have to, like, make infinite mana, then counter all the Weather Storm copies. Ugh. But we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14. Lots of power. Go ahead and attack in. Play the Chancery. And pick up an island. We'll discard the Cryogen Relic. Our opponent starts on a Quirion Ranger. We'll start on a High Tide. Counter. Their main goal here is to try and use my entire clock. We will return the Prohibit. They're casting a Winding Way right now. Just want them to have as minimum cards in hand as possible so that I don't have to cast a ton of counters every turn and waste my entire time. We'll get back the Prohibit. We will counter. Seems like I need to flicker for another High Tide. Alright, flicker. Get back the Prohibit. They have 4 cards left. Counter. Plays a Timberwatch Elf. Flicker. We'll return the Prohibit again. And kick the Prohibit. Donk. Counter again. Then I'll flicker. Get back the Prohibit. Get back the Flicker. Then flicker. We'll get back High Tide Flicker. We draw an island. I believe the next card is a negate. Our opponent takes a lot of damage, goes to 3 life. I'll play a land. Pass the turn. Oh, they conceded. Well done. We'll see you in round 5. We're here in round 5 versus Kinrenin. They've played a lot of White Weenie in the past, and I am hoping that they're playing White Weenie today because that would be a pretty good matchup for me. We have a High Tide and a Preordain. I think I keep the lead on Plains and Inspector. They are on White Weenie. We have a turn 2 Cryogen. Let's Preordain. We have Drifter Snap. So these are the pieces that we need. We need 1 more Snap or 1 more High Tide or 1 Familiar to go off. They play a Squadron Hawk. They get in for 1. We're just going to play out the Cryogen Relic. Draw a card. We find an Ash Barrens. They get in for 2. Plays a Core Skyfisher. Picks up the Thraben Inspector. I think I'm just going to evoke the Mulldrifter. Draw 2. Find Modern Age. Let's discard a Plains. Plays a Skyfisher. Picks up land. Plays land. Plays Squadron Hawk. High Tide or Familiar. I don't know if Familiar does it now. Find a foil. Play the Modern Age out. Found the High Tide. So I have to discard, maybe it's the Plains. Could also be the Mortuary Mire. I think it's, or the Ash Barrens represents Plains. I don't want to discard the Mortuary Mire because I want to get back to Mulldrifter. I'll play Island and pass the turn. So this is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 if they go for it. Which means maybe I want to Cryogen onto the Core Skyfisher. So that way they can't kill me with Guardian's Pledge. We play out a Chocobo. Gets in. Alright, we will discard Modern Age. We'll go High Tide, Archaeomancer, grab High Tide, cast High Tide, and now make infinite mana. My lands tap 4/4. Mancer. We'll grab the snap the Mancer. So the question really is, like, what am I going to do with this? I could play out the Chancery, but not sure if that's where I want to be. So let's snap this again, untap, play a Mulldrifter, see what our options are. We're drawing 2 cards, another snap, so I can Mancer again. The options, let's see. I can Mortuary Mire, snap the Mulldrifter, then I can draw this Mulldrifter, and then I can snap that Mulldrifter again, so it's drawing effectively 5 cards. So let's Mortuary Mire, get back the Mulldrifter, and then snap this Mulldrifter, and cast it. Draw some cards, another Mulldrifter, draw some more cards. There's a flicker. That's game over. Just don't know what the most effective way is to make mana, but I'll flicker here. I'll show them that I had the loop. This is just very time consuming. Actually, I should probably go ahead and like get more High Tides so that I can go off harder. Draw some cards. There's a High Tide. Snap the Archaeomancer. Cast High Tide. Cast Cryogen Relic. Draw Archaeomancer. Now we're going for it. I'm doing the things. Snap. Bunch of mana was made. We'll cast a Mulldrifter and draw cards. I'm just gonna skip over the making mana parts. Mancer. Untap all my lands again. See, in paper, you would just go infinite mana, GG. And here on Magic Online, you get Carpal Tunnel. All right, let's see what happens if I draw 2 cards. Flicker the Relic. We have another Mulldrifter. All right. Our opponent concedes, finally. They were like, oh, I walked away, I went to the bathroom and came back and you were still doing things, so I quit. Prohibit. Probably better than foil. Otherwise, I think we're in a good spot. We could maybe bring in a Revoke Existence or a Negate. Don't know if we need 3 High Tides. I mean, all the High Tides, but I think I'm fine with this setup. Okay, game 2. Opponent is on the play. Novice Inspector is the turn 1. They make a clue. I find a Preordain, that's good. High Tide Preordain, I'll top. And then I guess I just play out the Cryogen Relic on turn 2. They have a Rafine's Informant. They're going fast. Maybe it makes sense to Preordain, trying to find a familiar. Preordain, Faithful, and a High Tide. Top. Play the Chancery. Pick up the island. We're going to discard an island. Next turn, it's Faithful Cryogen Relic. Can they race this? They play a Thraben Inspector into a Squadron Hawk, and they'll attack for 4. We have Faithful Cryo, and then you can go like High Tide, Drifter, Flicker, Drifter. I'm at 15. We'll go Faithful. Play Cryogen Relic. We find Archaeomancer. They get in. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I will block a Novice Inspector. We can make infinite mana this turn. Infinite life. I go to 5. Find a Chancery. I believe we can make infinite life. So land, cast High Tide. 3 mana, 5 mana. Cast High Tide. I have 5 mana. If I flicker here, I'll have 5 mana left over because he's tapped for 3. I can flicker both of these. Ghostly Flicker. 1, 2. 6 mana. Archaeomancer. Get back Ghostly Flicker. Make infinite life. And then I'm going to my second main phase because I was floating mana. On Magic Online, it's just easier to do it this way. So on paper, you would say I make 100 billion life, and then your opponent would concede. But here, I mean, maybe they wouldn't have to concede. We're going to go to like 75. We have to worry about them Thraben Charming. Then we have to rebuild after the Thraben Charm hits me. But what will they charm? Will it be the Archaeomancer? Will they just get rid of my graveyard? If they don't charm the Archaeomancer, then I won't be able to like, then I will still be able to flicker the relic. But maybe they just want to get rid of the flicker. I'm getting pretty tired, so I'm going to stop at 50. Okay, I'm at 51 life. I'll draw 2 cards, pick up the Ghostly Flicker, and pass a turn. Found the familiar and a tide, so I can go mana neutral again next turn. Plays a Skyfisher, returns planes to the hand. Plays a planes. It will attack for 1 in the air. Holding up the Thraben Charm, I guess. We find a Faithful. I'm going to play the familiar out and just Chancery. pick up the island. No attacks. Wasn't a great spot to be doing that. Okay, they crack the clue and draw a card. Opponent plays a Plains, they get in with the Hawk and the Core Sky Fisher. We go to 47, they play another Squadron Hawk. If I find a Snap, I could try and win. Another Archaeomancer also does it. Let's go Archaeomancer. Well, I guess it doesn't win right now. I'll grab the High Tide. So they crack the clue. We go High Tide, 2 mana, Flicker, make infinite mana, draw into my counters, snap all your stuff right now. This is pretty sick. High Tide, cast High Tide, go see Flicker, get back to go see Flicker. All right, now I'll Flicker for another High Tide. Make things a little bit easier on myself. High Tide again. Then I'll start drawing cards. Draw 2. Looking for snaps. Draw 2 again. Draw 2 again. We have to make sure we don't lose all our mana. Still no snaps. I'll draw 2. There we go. Bounce. I should probably snap my Faithful, because this is getting really annoying. We're gaining too much life. It's just causing me time. Imagine tracking. Who tracks? It's gonna bounce. Bonk. Oh, I forgot to snap my Faithful. I just kept snapping their board, even after saying that I wanted to snap the Faithful. I was like, why is this taking so long? Okay, boink. Now that's off the board. Okay. Their board is clear. I will draw cards, looking for a counterspell. Get back to Ghostly Flicker. No counterspell. Draw another 2. No counterspell. Draw another 2. No counterspell. Lots of Ghostly Flickers. Draw some more cards. Still no counterspells. I really just need 1. Still no counterspells. This is so silly. Oh boy. We're drawing cards. Got a snap. No counterspells. There's a High Tide. Oh no, I don't have to snap back a High Tide later. At some point, I will draw them. I drew the Mortuary Mire. Another snap. This is crazy. We found a prohibit. We can stop drawing cards. Okay. I will pass. I will discard Plains, Cryogen, Chancery, Faithful. I probably should just figure out what I want to keep. So I want to keep going way back up here. We want to keep, move these down. We want a Familiar. We want the Mortuary Mire. We want a High Tide. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so get rid of Snap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Casual discard 30 cards on end step. That's hilarious. Our opponent's going to play a Novice Inspector. I think I would rather just snap everything back to their hand this turn. Fiend's Informant, fine. Discards a Battle Screech. Just snap their Fiend's Informant. Untap. And Ghostly Flicker. Here's where they have the Thraven Charm potentially. Get back the Snap. And the Flicker. I think I will go to my turn. Well, they'll discard a bunch of cards to hand size. I guess I should have snapped it there because now they can play the Prismatic Strands, which would be a little annoying. Not the end of the world. Did not discard a Prismatic Strands. Oh, Mortuary Mire. Put a Mulldrifter on top. Play a Familiar. Bounce the Inspector. Cast a High Tide. Begin by attacking. Going to Ghostly Flicker. Get back High Tide a couple of times, make a bunch of mana, and then do some stuff. High Tide Flicker. I wonder if they're just like letting the clock run. It's fine if they want to do that. I have 1 counter in hand. I will respond. Counterspell. Cast a High Tide. Ghostly Flicker. Get the High Tide. Cast High Tide. Flicker. Flicker to put a Mulldrifter on top. I'm going to get back a Snap. Untap all my lands. Get back the Snap. Flicker here. Get back the Flicker. Then we're going to Flicker a couple of times to put some creatures we don't care about on top. Get back Flicker. Get back Faithful. We'll put 4 Faithfuls on top. Just a bunch of cards. Bunch of non-Mulldrifters on top. That clock's going red. Plenty of time. Make some mana. Put the other 2 Drifties on top. I am worried about the clock actually a little bit. Are any Archaeomancers in there? No. Flickery do. Mulldrifterino number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Would really like to find the other Prohibit. Mancer. I'll grab the Prohibit. Preordain. Top. I shouldn't have put the Flicker on top. Preordain again. Bottom. Let's get back that Preordain. Uh-oh. 2 minutes, 53 seconds. Now it's a race. Race against the clock. Preordain. Bottom. Top the Mancer. Grab the Preordain. Flicker. Top. And then I'll Flicker here. Get back Flicker. And get back the High Tide. That's the turn. Discard a bunch of cards. I have 11 damage. They play a Plains. I'll cast a High Tide in response to their Fiend's Informant. I only have 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm going to counter. Doink. I will respond. They have 5 cards left. Counter. Make some mana. And then pass. Phases. 150 on clock. I'll flicker. Get back to flicker. My computer's freaking out. Get back to prohibit. Counter. My turn. Play land. Attack with everything. They draw a card. They hawk. Going to flicker. It's getting tight. Counter. Lunarch Veteran. I'll flicker for a counter. Then I'll flicker and get a High Tide. Oh no! Oh no! Cast High Tide. Untap some lands. Counter. 39 seconds. Plays a Squadron Hawk. We're going to flicker. Return the counter. Counter. Can they do anything for 1 mana? Nope. We win the game. Well played, Kid Renan. We got there anyway. 4-1. I definitely punted game 2 versus that red deck, but they beat me pretty handedly in game 1. Maybe this is a sweet, fun way to play some familiars. I enjoyed it. I got a comment asking me to check out the deck again. So this was my list. I don't really have any specific changes. Maybe the foils could be something else, but let me know if you do try it. I had an awesome time playing some fams. I'll see you in the next video.